Hey guys, Joe Cool here. Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Monster. Just thought I'd let you know, I found an addiction. I got addicted. So I was watching the Hermit Crafters and they were messing around with RotaryCraft, and I was like, well, let me go check that out. So I spent the last day and a half messing around with it. And needless to say, I'm hooked. It's actually a lot simpler than it seems. And I hope I can alleviate some of those fears and frustrations. And it really comes down to it. It is really simple once you get to know it. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. But it's pretty daunting to begin with, and there's definitely a lot of resources to be to obtain just to get some of the parts, because a lot of the stuff dang it, sorting again. So you got things like these beveled gears. Let's see, that's recipe, yeah. So you got to make these to turn angles. So these are just like conduits. They're just more specific. This one's a corner conduit. They have shafts that are basically inline conduits. Sometimes you need more energy, so you need to so they have gearboxes. So up the ratio of something. So it ain't going fast enough. So you sacrifice speed for torque, or torque for speed, and some of these have different things that they do. So some of the things, let's see. So you're seeing some of the items like the grinders used to grind up stuff, and you need this to grind up canola seeds to get lubricant, and you need a lubricant to lube some of the gearboxes, otherwise they'll overheat and break. As they wear down, they provide less power as time goes on, so their torque goes down, which reduces power tremendously in some of the configurations. And the nice thing is the ability to spell right. This guy here is an extractor. So here you need 25 kilowatts of power with 512 newton meters of torque and 8 K-rads, which is 8,000 radians per second. They have a nice book. I don't have any HSA. Oh, maybe did I get any ingots? I might have some ingots here. I have 6. Let's see if I can make a... Well, let's go up here. Book. That's a RotaryCraft. That's not the book I want. Hello. Next. RotaryCraft handbook. So do we have... Oh, that's just iron. Let's see. I need cane. Sugar cane. Oh, I gotta do it in here. That only includes iron. But this guy here is what you need. You only need one. And in here there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So 1 radian is, I think it's 1, well it says here, where is it? 180 degrees of pi. So there are 6.28 radians in a full circle. So when you get to some of the physics, 1 rad per second. So essentially it's about 6 seconds. And then 3 rads per second is going to be about 3 rads per second would be 3, 6. So for 2 seconds, well, so 6 seconds divided by 3 is approximately 2 because it's 6.2 something. So it's essentially 2 RPM. Here is about, or not RPM, it's RPS, so it's a much higher number. So rads will be a lot lower number than RPM. And then you've got torque, distance, force, just all this really interesting stuff if you've ever done, physics and stuff. So you get into shaft load limits, there's just stuff here. So I've come up with some configurations that you don't really need. If you make a creative world and you start messing with stuff, you don't necessarily need to understand all of these things. You kind of go, okay, I want to do this. Okay, this doesn't work. Let's go to the next one higher. Okay, that doesn't work. Let's go to the next one higher. And so I've kind of come up with a configuration that, so there's a way to collect the canola seeds and have them replanted. You use a fan. So the fan is really cool, by the way. This guy here, pretty easy to make. But what he does, and we'll go over it in a minute, but yeah, so he'll blow, essentially, it'll blow across a distance based on how much power you give it, and it blows the seeds that direction too, but it also, if it's going fast enough, it'll replant a seed in that spot. And so if you provided enough power, you can basically get harvesting, unlimited harvesting. The other thing you need is a grinder to grind the canola seeds into lubricant for some of the machines in order to work. There's a paddle wheel. Paddle wheel requires lubricant to run. Some of the other configurations, you need to run some of the speeds so high that until you get to bedrock, you can't, they'll explode without lubricant. Now, bedrock, when I say bedrock, is a bedrock breaker. So this guy here will turn bedrock into dust, and then, which is right here, and you use this dust to create other things. So here's all kinds of bedrock gearboxes. These do not need lubricant to run. So these are indestructible. You can also make tools. Now I'm not sure about the armor, whether it's impervious to damage, whether or not you can damage it. I haven't messed with it at all, so I'm not sure, but it seems logical. Some cool stuff. Now the tools, on the other hand, those definitely cannot be broken. Those I was told those are indestructible. And the bedrock sword, very nice. Look at that. Sharpness 5, looting 5. That's what it starts with. Looting 3 is the max looting you typically get. So that is a very nice sword. Even my current sword isn't that good. So I'll be looking up and getting a couple nuggets of that. Recipe for that, that's, I guess any steel works, plus 4 bedrock dust in an induction smelter. Or a blast furnace. Now, since most people at this stage already have RF production, because some of this is actually pretty challenging to get to, they provided a magneto. Yeah, here it is. A magneto static engine. Now what this will do is it'll take RF and convert it into torque and rads. So it starts off with 2K torque, and you can improve the radians, which will increase power. So I'll be using this. Some of the configurations I've come up with, very low. It's like 20 RF per tick to run 4 fans and a grinder. So you have unlimited, for 20 RF per tick, you have unlimited canola oil or lubricant. And that you can use to power, to lubricate all the other things that you need to use. Now, some of the gearboxes, based on the material used, can only go so fast. If you go faster than their limit, then they break. And if you read it here, so it's actually kind of funny. So here's the gearboxes. Let's see. A lot of times it'll say will fail violently, which I find pretty entertaining. If you don't lubricate it, it will fail violently. So I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, so I'm not sure where else it might be. But yeah, it's a nice little book. Very nice mod, very pretty mod. I say pretty as they've, all the gearboxes, they move. You see all these open gears, all these move inside. The really neat one, let's go back. One of the neat one, let's see, is it in this one? One of the ones we'll be using is the grinder. Oh, there it is. This guy here. Now these gears inside here, those actually turn. It's pretty cool. They look like a paper shredder. But yeah, all this stuff kind of moves. These guys move around inside, so they got some really good artists in here to do some of this stuff. I'm sure this little fan in here spins. I'm sure this does something. I don't know what it does, but I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does something cool. I'm sure it's amazing. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making some HSA steel. It's high something. There's canola. Oh, this guy, angular transducer. You're gonna want one of these. Now this guy's pretty cool. I'll show you in a minute when I get everything going. Actually, you know what? I can make one of those right now. What this guy does is, I don't have, oh gosh. Most of the items have like an output and whatnot, and you can use this. You click on the items, and I don't think it'll do anything in here, but you'll need one of these to tell the output, and it'll tell you how much power it's transmitting, how much, all the radians, all the numbers. The other nifty tool you probably won't see me make because it's a little bit of a pain to make. Not sure where it's going to be at. It's going to be in this guy. It's called a dynamometer. Surveying. They got surveying machines. Here's a CCT camera. They've got a projector. There's the projector stuff. There's some really cool stuff in this mod. But yeah, so we'll be playing with some of this stuff, and we'll have a good time. But the dynamometer, it actually, you can put it on the end of a shaft, and it'll tell you all the numbers you need to know. How much power is coming out of that connection, how fast it's turning, how much torque is being applied. A bunch of cool stuff. So before I waste this whole episode just talking about it, let's get to doing. Alright guys, so I will be back in a second, and we will have tons of fun stuff to mess with. Alright guys, we're back. Did a little rearranging. Added a ME interface to the assembly table. Rearranged this a little bit so it opens up this area, you know, walking this way. And what I also did was, if I can get the center here, there, I cleared this out, and this is going to be where I'm going to do the RotaryCraft stuff, because it's a little noisy, so it's pretty far down compared to some of the other stuff, so I can leave stuff on and it won't make a bunch of noise, or at least it'll make noise and I won't hear it. So in order to do RotaryCraft, you need this HSLA steel. Now, in order to make the steel, you need a blast furnace from RotaryCraft. There's the recipe. I think that's kind of nice too, is that when you click on some of the blocks that you interface with, it's got a nice little info question mark over here, and it takes you right to where it would be in the book. So really easy to make. You need to heat it, and there's heaters that you can get. Let's see, do they have? Well, I'll show them to you later when we get into the higher level stuff. But as you can see, the temperature says 625 degrees Celsius, operation time of 12 seconds per operation. To make the HSLA steel, you need to put steel in here. You need sand, coal, any kind of coal, and then some gunpowder down here. Now, as you can see, I did 9 stacks of 64, and I put a stack of sand, a stack of charcoal, and a stack of gunpowder in here, and this is what was left. So it doesn't use all the sand and doesn't use all the gunpowder, but it definitely uses all the coal. Now, the coal isn't fuel, it is what gets infused in the iron to make the steel ingots. And you can see this temperature of 625. I have a I can do it without making a mess. So lava source block down there heats it up. As you can see, I put some glowstone nooks around, and then everything around here is stone covers, and I have glowstone nooks under all this, so it's nice and clean. That was something that Hypno did. I like the idea, and you know, it makes it look nice and clean, and I like the putting it in the walls was a lot of fun, but yeah, this would be good for down here. So what I did is, so I've got an item duct that pulls all the output over into this chest here. And then what I've also done with this chest is, so several of these recipes, so I'll show you what those are. So in order to make stuff in some of the items you can make, as you can see, I have some of the gears in here, but the final products of stuff, oh, I can't use that because so the final products of many items, this is just a crafting recipe, but like a shaft junction, we need to use a work table. Now this is work table here, real easy to use. It's just like a normal crafting table, real easy to make. The thing is that you can't auto craft the stuff. So what I did is I created an ME interface, and in it I put the actual recipe. So I hand placed all the items to match. Here, we'll take it up to the pattern provider here. So I put all the items in here. We ended up, so this is the magnetostatic engine. This takes RF energy and turns it into torque energy. It turns into RotaryCraft energy. And the reason I did this is I don't want to sit there. It becomes a pain to put, you know, okay, I need one of these. Okay, I need one of these. Okay, I need one of these. So now all I have to do is I request the magnetostatic engine. Let me put it back into here. So I can go into my crafting terminal, and then I can request one of these. And then what it's going to do is it says, oh, I need to collect all these pieces and spit them out this ME interface. And then I can go over here and pick up all the pieces and add them to the work table. Now, all you got to do is come up here and click that once all the pieces are there. You know, I think, no, that doesn't work. Okay, so this guy goes up top. Silver, copper, there's lead. Copper, silver, base panels. And these two pieces here are made in, they're made with the steel, but you can craft those in a normal crafting table, so those are easy to make. Now you get a nice little green and Shazam. So let me get some more stuff. Let's see, what else did I? So I'm going to need a lot of little pieces. So what I'm doing is I'm creating the first thing I need to create is a way to make lubricant. And you put, the way you make lubricant is you take canola seeds, and I think I have a bunch. See, I've got a whole bunch up here, and if you see me running around up top, you see the little yellow flowers up top. Let's see, where are they at? All those yellow flowers, those are all canola. They're not interactable with MFR farms. I wonder if forestry farms might work. But you don't need to because they have the fans, and I was telling you about the fans. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing you need to do is, here, let me get some more recipes made. So I made all the steel gears and the stone gears. So we're going to make some stone gear boxes to start off with, but I need some other pieces. So let me go make those pieces, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Alright guys, we are back, and we've got lots of cool and interesting things to do. Check this out. So I've got an 8-to-1 gearbox. Now this is a stone gearbox. Now depending on how you use it, you may or may not need lubricant. Now I haven't done this in single player, I only did it in creative, and at low enough speeds it doesn't seem to need any lubricant. So we're going to find out now whether or not we need lubricant. Now the stone gearbox, real easy to make. You need an 8x gear, and that's just, you know, you just make, it's one gear to the next, not a big deal. So let's go here. Let's see here. Recipe. So it's a 2x gear with a multiplier gear. So you just double the gear each time. So you start off with 2 single gears, which gives you your 2x gear, and then 2x gear plus a 4x gear. 4 times 2 is 8, and then 2 times 8 is 16. So that's just how you move your gears up. And then you need your rods in between to mount all the gears on. It's kind of cool. Wait till we get it down, and it'll be amazing. The other things we are going to build. So I think this is the recipe. I think this is a grinder. Yep, there's the grinder. So we're going to need a grinder. And then we're going to... Don't normally need a dynamometer. 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 Meter. Say that 3 times fast. Quick, kid, before you kill yourself. Welcome aboard. Name that movie. But I'm gonna grab that just to better illustrate some of the stuff that we're doing. Now I've got a couple other pieces here, as you can see. Now what I'm going to end up doing is the first thing we need to make is we need to grind our canola oil for lubricant. In order to get the higher ratios to do some of the stuff that we want, it's going to take a lot of stuff. So I'm going to want the grinder there. I want the gearbox here. So let's go ahead and put the stone gearbox down. Now when I set it down, you're going to see 2 colored boxes. Pay attention to that. So green is input, red is output. So we need an input shaft on that side. Now you see all these gears in here. Isn't that cool? Wait till they get moving. It's crazy. Okay, so the next thing I want to put down is a shaft junction. Now the shaft junction, it combines or splits 2 gears. Now when I set this down, you're going to see input and output. One of those will be 2, the other one will be a 1 because it's a... Okay, so it's currently set up to 2 inputs and 1 output. Now the white gear is always the single one and the 2 black gears are the double one. So the 2 inputs are going that way and the output. And that's not what we want. So we need screwdriver. Now the screwdriver is just like your wrench or screwdriver in other utilities. This is what moves it around. Now we want a single input with 2 outputs. Now to get that to switch, see right now we have 2 inputs and a single output. Well, if you shift click it, now we have 1 input and 2 outputs, but we don't have it quite the way I want to have it set up. So there we go. So now this green one here, over here is the input, and then there's an output going that way and an output going that way. Now, can we click on this? Okay, now here is the ratio that things are going to be compared to. Now your inline is your inline shaft. That's going currently going north-south. So you see the little gray bar underneath. That's, you know, the 2 gears across from each other. That's inline. Now the gear going the other way, that's the bend. So, but for this setup, I want them even. But you can change the ratio of torque to go from one direction and the other. The rotational speed, I believe it stays the same, but the torque is split between the 2. Essentially the power is split between the 2. Now the next thing I want is, let me see, I think I mapped it all out. The next thing is the engine. So we're using a magnetostatic engine, and that also needs an input, and the input for that is going to be straight up power. So I'm going to put a tesseract. Now understand that this is a little buggy in that I've had issues when leaving, let's see, so that's only good. When the chunk gets unloaded and reloaded, sometimes these 2 blocks don't connect, meaning so you'll just have to come down, pick it up and set it down again. But as you can see, the power's creeping up. Now this configuration is less than 20 RF per tick, so we should be pretty good. And I'm hoping this tesseract does a better job of communicating with the magneto engine, because I was having problems. Now actually I think I might, no, I think we're okay. So let me make a lever. Do I have stuff on me to make a lever? So cobblestone. I think any of these will do, right? Oh, I need sticks, don't I? 1,000 sticks, wow. Do I have levers in here? I'm not going to make a lever right now. A lever pattern, that is. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to active high. So this is redstone control. And here we're going to adjust the amount of your speed. So right now it's at 0, so it's not going anywhere. And you can kind of look, there's how you make it, you know, we talked about that. Accumulates RF provided to it, turns it into speed, torque. Okay, so now we should be able to I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. Okay, that was weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and put one of these guys down. And this will tell us the output. So we've got 1 radian per second is what this is currently set at. Now, the amount of torque it's outputting is 2K, but out here it's only to 1. Now, the stone gearbox and the wooden gearbox, I've done this with the wooden gearbox and I didn't have any problems either. So I was able to put it down and it didn't require any lubricant. It's not going very fast, so it shouldn't be building up a lot of heat. But we've got 1 kilowatt of power coming out of this. So let's go ahead and pick this guy up. Okay, so that guy came up. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and we need to turn this off because we need to change this gearbox to speed, not torque. If we put it to torque, it'll explode. But speed, it seems to work fine. So we're going to drop this guy down, turn him to speed. So if we look in here, this one's got an interface also. And these are real easy to make, just the gears plus some either stone or a mount. I think the mounts for all the higher tier stuff, stone just uses stone. So if it goes kablooey, who cares, right? So let's go ahead and put a dynamometer out of this one, and we will show you what comes out of it now. So it's an 8-to-1 speed. So right now it's putting out 128 nanometers newtons of torque with 8 rads. Now we need to get this up a little higher. I think we moved that to, I think it was, I think it was 8. Let's take a look at our grinder. So if we look at our grinder, we need 128 torque, we need 4 kilowatts of power. So we got 8 kilowatts of power. I think that's okay. Oh, you know what? I think this one was a 16-to-1? I think we can make this one a 16-to-1. No, we can't. That's as much as we can do because the torque doesn't change. We need 128 newtons of torque, even though we've got a higher power. Okay, so it'll go a little faster. So let's see here. 4 kilowatts of power at 128 newtons. Yeah, so we've got it going as fast as we had. I think I had it at a 4-to-1 before. So if we go ahead and we can go ahead and drop our grinder down. Shouldn't explode. Ah, yeah, don't stand on it. That's another thing. Don't stand on these on the grinder. But yeah, you see all these gears going? It's cool stuff. Oh, yeah, I stepped on it again. So if you look here, here's your different meters of stuff. So you've got full power for power, speed, and torque. So each item's going to have, let's see, so required power, required torque, and speed is, I don't know if this one had how much speed, but if you look at this, so it's got a tank, 4-bucket tank, plus items get crafted at about 27 seconds per item. The faster the speed is, the faster those items will be crafted. And you can add more gears to do whatever. But in this configuration, if we add any other speed gears, we're going to lower the torque, and we're at the minimum amount of torque right now. So we wouldn't be able to add any more speed gears. So now I can go grab some canola seeds. Well, actually, you know what? That's why I did this here. Canola seeds. So I can go ahead and chuck these guys in. The other thing I'm going to do, okay, let's go ahead and take that off. This is something, so since the whole purpose of this configuration is to create lubricant, so what I'm going to do is add an iron AND gate, and in here I want to do space for fluid, apply a redstone signal, and items in inventory, apply redstone signal. So when both of these are true, I want you to put on a redstone signal. And currently, so now the redstone signal's off because we run out of canola seeds. Now what that's going to do is, let me grab some alloy. Wire. Should be able to actually go like this. Let's grab some stone. $389,000 stone. You think that's enough? Plop that guy there. Now, when I put seeds in there, yeah, there we go. So whenever there's seeds and space for fluid, it's going to kick on the motor, and that'll kick start everything going. Now, the next part of this configuration is to add the canola seed automation. Now, let's see. I need some more shaft junctions. I don't need any more bevel gears, but I need more shaft junctions and fans. So let me make a few more things, and then we'll start back up. Alright, so unfortunately we are completely out of time. This mod is highly complicated, so I guess it's going to take more than one episode to get just started. So I wanted to show you something that I changed. Now, especially dealing with RotaryCraft, normally you like to apply a redstone signal to activate stuff. But with RotaryCraft, you want to be, when you start messing with the gears and moving stuff around, you want to shut everything off. But the only way to do that is to disable the redstone signal in order for it to shut off. So it's easier to swap that, and when a redstone signal is applied, turn off the engine. So right now I have a lever right here that's shut everything off because I want to add stuff here, and I don't want stuff to blow up before I get everything set up correctly. Because when you first place gearboxes, they're set up for torque, and in most cases they'll explode. In many cases they'll explode. especially if you don't have a lubricant applied to them yet, or if there's too much torque being applied. You know, it's like a normal gear. You apply too much torque to a transmission and it's going to blow. The other thing I changed is, so in doing that, you need an OR gate here. So if the tank is full, apply a redstone signal, or if the inventory is empty, that's what I wanted. If the inventory is empty, apply a redstone signal. So, well, actually, you don't really need to. Well, no, yeah, I want to do that. So if the tank gets full, it will stop making more lubricant, but it won't stop the engine, so you'll continue to drain energy. The other thing is, if the inventory is empty, obviously you want to shut it off so you can stop draining everything. But so this is the start of everything. This is relatively easy to make. Like I said, I put 9 stacks of iron in here, and I got about 10.5 stacks of steel. And so I still have, you know, I've only used about 100 steel so far, and I've made quite a few things. I believe I've made everything I needed for this initial setup. So out of 100 steel, so maybe only a stack of iron would have got me all the pieces I need to make this early setup. So I hope this helps for this, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like. Please leave any comments, suggestions, questions. Happy to answer any questions. This is a really fun mod. I'm very much a numbers person, and these have a lot of numbers in it, man. Like I said, I found my new addiction. It looked overly complicated and tedious, but once you get the numbers down, it's actually not too bad. Alright guys, well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next episode.